And welcome back to the Off the Clock Show with Shawn Gervais from OrbisX and Marty, Mr. Marshall Hill from Pints and Polishing Podcast, as well as hyperClean car care products. And Marty, first off, I got to hear the sound.
Oh, I already did.
Oh, geez, the tip is gone. But so what days of the week can people find the Pints and Polishing Podcast right now?
Oh, 7 days a week on every major podcast platform. Yeah.
Oh, well, yes. Well responded. Yes. So when do new episodes usually air?
Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Yeah.
There we go. Beautiful. All right.
The fun one though is the community pub. You know, people can all come on, drink a beer. You don't have to drink a beer, but
that's the one Thursdays, right?
Wednesday, yeah, it airs on Thursdays. We record it.
Records Wednesdays.
Yeah, Wednesday night. So if anybody wants that, just hit me up. We'll get you in.
Awesome. Yeah. I'll never forget that turnpike question. Jesus. Oh man, I'll have to post a link to that episode so people can go check it out. I'm not going to say anymore because I'm going to throw up again. But no, it's a good episode, good content, and man, it just happens. It's when you guys record it, it's on one of my busiest evenings. So I'm gonna have to try and tune in on the other ones though. But,
hey, did you have Thanksgiving?
I did. We had Canadian Thanksgiving, and yes, we did have syrup for anyone who's going to ask. So, yeah, and trust me, I posted in the group "Happy Canadian Thanksgiving," and some people asked if we had syrup, and I said absolutely. So, but yeah, not on the turkey or anything, nothing weird.
Okay, that's what I was about to say. Like, hold on, Shawn. Do you really pour maple syrup on a turkey?
Yeah, of course. We got to baste it. No way. But so what happened is the weekend before I went to a wedding and it was at my uncle's farm and he makes his own maple syrup and all kinds of stuff. And the party favors on each table was a little bottle of maple syrup right from his trees. So so we still had some of that, but then we had a gang of people staying over. So I said, well, in the morning time, we'll eat some breakfast. So everybody for some reason wanted to have waffles and turkey. So they had the turkey, but then the waffles with maple syrup. So But yeah, it was good, man. We had family over, which was really nice. My parents came over; they got to see the new house. They hadn't been here yet, so that was good. And it was just nice, fun times. We had some laughs, though, man. It was some funny stories. We shared a lot of childhood memories and stuff.
I guess Thanksgiving in Canada hasn't forever been changed, though. No new steak that you all started eating that you were supposed to enjoy with your Thanksgiving?
Oh, man. Farmer bailed on me. So, well, he didn't bail. He just said he'll see me next weekend. So he's supposed to be coming this weekend. And the problem is he's about an hour outside of the city. And so it's whenever he makes it. I don't know if he drank too much eggnog, passed out. I have no idea. But anyway.
It was like holiday weekend, dude. I'll see you next weekend.
I think so, yeah. But I was really excited for it. And good thing, though, I didn't tell any of the guests. Because I was about to tell them, oh, man, I got a surprise for you guys. And then, look, I would have looked like a world-class asshole. So, yeah. But no, it's supposed to be coming next weekend. But now are you about to tell me that you had some picanha this weekend?
Oh, of course. Of course. Yeah. I think it was about 6.5, almost 7 pounds worth.
Oh, damn. Nice. Jeez.
Yeah.
Now, how much did you end up with, though?
Dinner.
You got some people in your family.
Yeah, we got some people, and so that's why we started buying so much more.
Okay, so gotta fight for it.
Yeah, because then the next day, I'm telling you, it's like a fucking religion for them. You could literally say the word convert because I've now converted her away from her previous beliefs, and she's the one that asked for it in the breakfast burrito the next day.
No way.
She goes, you want to make breakfast burritos? And I was like, yeah. And I go, with what, bacon? Yeah. She's like, picanha? And I was like,
picanha? Oh my God.
She's fully converted now because they never used, listen, I would get in trouble for the blood, right? When you unwrap it and there's a little bit of blood, if I would pat that off, what are you doing? I'm getting the blood off. It's picanha. Like, what? No, you don't do that. I'm like, babe, I've been doing it for 2 months. You're just now seeing me not doing it. You
didn't even notice.
She didn't know that I had broken, and she's now not a pure Brazilian picanha lover anymore.
Yeah.
Been defiled Oklahoman ways of dabbing it with paper towels and like
Nice. Yeah, I love it, man. I'm gonna have to send
and
you some
eating it
shirts
in
that
a
say it's
breakfast
picanha.
burrito. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What'd you say?
I said I'm gonna have to send you some shirts that say it's picanha. That's what I'm
Yeah.
gonna say. I like that. No, it's picanha. Man,
No,
that's awesome. Though.
picanha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, we had a great big
Yeah,
old
yeah.
breakfast burrito, and then
Nice.
of course we had some more. Actually, I had it Sunday before Sunday night football. I smoked. I grilled some wings, and so we ate a
Cool.
little bit more before that, and then yeah,
Nice.
we
Jeez.
just keep. I mean, that's what you do. You get a bunch of it, then you just keep gnawing on it.
Yeah, exactly. Just all night long. That's nice. Yeah. How do you do your wings normally?
So I like to smoke my wings first.
Okay.
Put them out in a little smoker, get that flavor going, and then I'll throw them on the grill.
Okay. Okay.
And I only do a dry rub. I'm not a wet.
I'm not a saucy kind of.
No, I'm
Yeah.
not a saucy guy. Like
Okay. Yeah.
we can dip into sauce later,
If you
but
want to, yeah, but not on the actual.
but I'm not. And even in like Buffalo Wild Wings and like that, I don't.
Yeah.
Unless it's chicken fingers, aka what they call boneless wings, right? Like.
Yeah.
Then I can do it, but even then, I usually still like to get it on the side. I'm more of a.
Okay.
I like to dip my sauce. I'm not a. Just the people that love sauce.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about those people for a second. I mean, there's people they have to have sauce on every damn thing,
Yeah.
and then it's like not saucy enough, and then you see them and they're throwing A1 on a steak, and you're going, dude, what the hell are you doing? Oh, I got sauce on everything.
Yeah. I can't
It
do it.
started with the little sauce on their wings, and next thing you know, I mean, it's A1 on a steak, and you're like, oh,
Just squeezing the bottle. Yeah, me, I can't do it, and that's where I was wondering because my wife and I we get like funny looks when we go to parties or something, and they'll pull out some wings, and they're all it's just dripping, and we're like, no, we're good, thanks though. And we're like, oh, they're the best, my husband makes them, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. You can keep that, and then people come to our place. And they'll be like, oh, are they not finished yet? You didn't like roll them in some sauce or something? No, like this is how they're coming. If you want something, you can have a little dip on the side and go nuts, But no, I don't want to.
That's what makes the sauces fun too. Like I said, I like to take whiskey and mix it into barbecue sauce. I like to take different things and make up little sauces that you can dip in.
Oh yeah, we have this stuff here. There's a restaurant, Nando's. It's this, I think it's Portuguese, come to think about it. But anyways, they got their own sauces and everything, and they sell them now in the grocery stores here. We buy their stuff. They have this, it's like a peri-peri sauce. Oh, and they got different ones, They got like a lemon, garlic, hot sauce, all different types, But anyways, it's good. It's good. I'll send you a bottle of it. It's
now we're talking.
Life-changing.
Now we're talking.
So a t-shirt and a bottle, there we go. All right, I got some merch coming your way. But excuse me. So that's good though. It's a nice quiet weekend, Yeah.
Oh yeah. Easy, nice.
Those are the best, man. Yeah, because like here too, it's starting to get colder. We're heading into fall.
Because we've all had those weekends where you go. I don't even mean like the weather. Just it wasn't a nice weekend, Like
it's true.
There's some heads butting and like people aren't happy, and it's
especially when you get family together.
Yeah.
It's
so when you have a good weekend, you go, all right, that was just
good exactly. Weekend. That's what I was wondering too, because mine went pretty much smoothly the whole way through, and that included some people staying over. And usually, and this is from both sides of the family too. So I was expecting maybe, all it takes is one person to say one wrong thing or a couple too many glasses of Chardonnay, and next thing plates are flying. I didn't know what was going to happen. So it just went perfectly. I don't know. It was, it was good. And that included my sister being there. I've got one sibling. And she was there. We don't really talk too much. We see each other once or twice a year, maybe. Sometimes we'll have a gap year. But we're not super close. And so her being there, and she's very opinionated. And she loves to talk about politics. And, with the war going on right now and everything. Oof, yeah. So she brought it up a few times, but everyone just kind of was like, oh, yeah, that's cool. And just kept it moving.
Moving on. No, we don't want to.
Exactly. If you don't put, oxygen on the fire, it kind of just dies out, right? So, yeah. It was good, man. It was good. Yeah, but you seen any good posts lately, or?
Yeah, we saw one in the group, didn't we? It was a
Oh
great
yeah,
post.
well, definitely a good one in the group, yeah, and we can jump into that. Yeah, a guy in the group posted, he made his own flyer, which is amazing.
Yeah,
Because
number
a lot
one,
of,
amazing.
yeah, like that blew me away when he said, and he said this took me way too long, and when he said that, I was expecting, I hadn't seen the image yet, and I was expecting, okay, this is maybe it was like garbage or something. I looked at it, and honestly, first impressions, he did a great job, and that's where, for me, I find the detailers, they don't tend to go into that sphere where they're going to try and make their own ads or something like that. They just, okay, I got to hire someone, which makes sense in a lot of aspects, you know, if you're busy doing this or that. But if you can dedicate some time and learn just a couple skills and put some stuff together, there's programs now that make it a lot easier than it was years ago. So if you can start to put some stuff together, you have the freedom and flexibility to change things on the fly, which is good. You're learning a new skill as well. And you might come to a point where maybe business is kind of slowed down and you don't have available funds for a graphic designer. So that's where, what do you do? You know, so this way, this guy now, he can go in and can make his own ads and, you know, generate some new business, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, you're right. The new apps that have come out make, you know, you can just stick a back image and start adding different.
Exactly.
They got templates. I mean, yeah, there's no excuses anymore.
It's true.
For me, there was a big excuse. The only thing I had was Photoshop.
And Photoshop, overly complicated. And back
in the day, there was no light. There was no app Photoshop. This was only the on your computer Photoshop.
Yeah. And keep in mind too, the time you're referencing, that's when I was learning Photoshop. And there wasn't all these like YouTube, show me how to do this in 5 minutes. That wasn't there. So in today's day and age, there's no excuse, I think. I agree. And now they have like Canva and all these other ones where you can whip stuff together. And you can even go on Fiverr, pay someone to build you a base template. Take that template now and you can edit that.
I think Fiverr is one of the most underused apps.
100%. Absolutely. 100%. And the cool thing too is once you find 2 or 3 good people on there, you can continue to use them over and over again. And once you build up that relationship, they often will just, they're a little more easy to work with. Let's put it that way. You know,
99 Designs.
99 Designs is a good one too. Yeah.
Yep. The guy that does all of, I've used over 10 years. I've used the same guy and I found him off of 99 Designs.
Amazing. Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. And
now, he doesn't do everything now, but but for 10 plus years, he did every single thing that I put out.
Man, that's amazing. Yeah. And the cool thing is you coordinate it all online. If you need changes done and this and that. So it's, and there's tons of sites like that too. I think there's Design Burst or Logo Burst or something. They submit like 100 different logo designs and you just pick and choose, and you know, stuff is out there that you can get these things done. But if you can learn it like this guy did, you know, like he's done an amazing job. If this is his first attempt, huge hats off. You know what I mean? Like that's amazing. And,
I'm with you. I thought when I first saw it, I read that too, and I go, oh, like, what's this gonna be?
Because the way it started.
And then you go, oh, I mean, I literally was overly surprised. I went, oh, okay, all right. You know, it has some structure to it. It's not just blasted randomly. You know, it's got structure. He used fonts. He's got. I liked the little scan in the middle. You know, there's things he did to it that are, man, you're right. Like for his first one. Yeah, for everybody to see it that's watching
the
video.
Quick. I'll post it in the group as well, but I'll throw it up so you can kind of see a little visual of what it looks like. But yeah, and he hit a lot of key elements like phone numbers on there. You know what I mean? So
I liked where he listed the cities up top. You know,
lets you know right away.
These are the people that I'm going to be servicing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah,
definitely.
That was a big one that hit me too. I like the color scheme too. I mean, depending where it's going, sometimes playing with colors, but that's where I usually try and make a light version and a dark version, because things are easier to see from a distance, certain ways, or as you're walking past. But if this is getting like handed out to somebody, it's clear to read. And you're right, you can tell there was thought put behind the placement of things, but also going with his brand, Freedom Mobile Detailing. He obviously played very heavily on, the patriotic colors, right? And so I think that's important because it's going to instill something in somebody, that pride and, being proud of your vehicle and stuff like that. So yeah, kudos for that for sure. Having printed it, I will say that this image here that's over here does get kind of faded out. You can't really tell what it is. It's a car interior, but that's where maybe that's why I'm big on testing things too, and like where it's going to be, if it's going online on your social, or if you're printing this out, or are you printing it at home or professionally printed. My recommendation is always professionally printed. This was printed at home.
Yeah.
Don't print at home. Printing
But
is really expensive.
Before we get into, this is great, right? And then we get into some of the things that maybe we would recommend that other people could take some pointers and begin to draft up things for themselves. Before we do that, I believe we should. So let's at least go, should we be talking about printed material though?
Oh, definitely.
You're the printer, so you are going to love printed material. So
absolutely.
Tell us why we should also have printed material, because let's understand there's a cost in that. Not only the paper, but then we're going to have to somehow get that paper into somebody's hand. That could either be a flyer via mail, so add in all those other costs. That could be a walk around, so add in your time and labor cost. I mean, there's a lot of cost going into printed material.
Absolutely.
Will it have the ROI that other type of time that maybe should be spent designing things? That's the first question I would really like you to sell us on, that we should be spending our time printing material.
I feel like this is the sell me the pen scenario.
Yeah, it's very much sell me the pen scenario. You better sell it, because
absolutely,
that's my first thing is I struggle with why somebody would print something right now.
Oh, 100%. And there's 3 main reasons that I always recommend.
Here we go. Let's do
absolutely. So the first one is not everybody's doing it. So a lot of people have shifted their focus, especially as of late, into strictly online marketing stuff, because it's easier. They can just hand over most of that project to somebody else, or they can just, click a bunch of buttons, dump in some money, and then just sit back and hope that it works out, right? So number 1 is not everyone's doing it. Number 2 is it lasts a lot longer. 3 is that it's a lot more versatile. So the versatility is things like, if you do online ads, it's only going to be seen when someone's viewing something online, and you're competing with millions and millions of other people. Whereas print material, you can use that in different scenarios. Let's say you're going to a trade show. Let's say you go to the doctor's office, or you go to the library. They usually have those cork boards there. You can post it there. So it gives you a lot more opportunities for omnipresence with the same materials. So that's where I highly recommend print material for those 3 reasons. Now, the one I didn't touch on too much is the durability. It lasts longer. What that means is if you run a campaign, you dump some money in, you've got to keep feeding that slot machine to stay in front of somebody's eyes. Whereas with print material, you have the opportunity to reuse it a lot of the times. So this could be something like, if you're a mobile detailer printing A-frame signs, that's an absolute necessity. You absolutely must do that. Whatever vehicle you're driving around in should also be a billboard of some kind. Now, sometimes your insurance might not, accommodate it to be a commercial vehicle all the time. So wrapping it might not be an option, or maybe that's expensive for you in your area, but that's where car magnets are very inexpensive. Similarly, you can do things like door hangers or brochures at local businesses. You can print a brochure, let's say, and you could distribute that in a lot of different places. It's going to hang in someone's, hand, their bag, or whatever, in their car. They can pass that on to other people as well. Whereas, if I see someone's digital ad, it's rare that I'm going to share that with somebody, because it would have to be the right moment. I'd have to be like, oh shit, Marty needs this, let me send it to Marty. Versus if I have some brochures, and you did a great job in my car. And then you're like, hey, if you run into anyone that could use my services, hang on to these, pass them out. Well, they're going to sit in my car. And then if I'm talking to my friend and his car looks like a piece of shit, I'm like, hey man, like, you look, you got coffee stains and this and that. Hold on, I have a brochure in my car. I go, I grab it, I pass it on.
And you think that happens?
Oh, it does happen. Oh, 100%. I guarantee it. And here's the
You think people take flyers from detailers and then store them in their cars so they 100%. Can hand them out to other people?
And I'll tell you why. They do it if you do it in the right way. So I would never give someone just a generic something, okay? Everything has to have certain key elements behind it. So number one is that the person getting it, I want to make sure that it's got some value to them, that the person giving it has to also have some incentive as well. So if you do it the right way, then it's going to happen. And so it's the same kind of concept of anything where it's like enter to win, but to enter to win, you've got to share it with XYZ person or something like that. Having those requirements, that's what's going to help.
Now, how do you make that paper valuable then? So valuable that somebody's going to want to store it in their car just in case they have somebody they run into that they want to give it to. They have to have a value to that paper.
Oh, 100%.
It's got to mean something to them.
And that's where, you know, like referral rewards are always the best thing to do. And it doesn't always have to mean that you give away your services specifically. That's obviously the best go-to move is, you know, hey, listen, if you hand this flyer out to X amount of people and they come in and you have a space where they can write their name on it. So then when they bring in that flyer, it's like, oh, you can, you know, accredit that sale to that particular customer. If they bring in all 5, then that customer gets something. But then if you let them know also that by doing this, they're going to help out their friend or the person that they gave it to as well. They're going to get a deal or a discount. You're playing on that psychology with the person where they want to do good in the world for people that they know. So they want to help out somebody they know. And, you know, oh, I know my buddy's got a car like this or something. Hey, you know, let me give it to him because his car needs a good
do you want to do a little pre-tip? You want to do a little pre-tip?
Little pre-tip? Sure.
Pre-tip. Best time to ever ask for a referral or ask somebody to do what you just said, keep some papers. Best time to do it? After they had said 2 words. Thank you. Anytime you hear towards the end, you're right, and they say thank you, that's your cue. Every time now somebody says the word thank you, you go, you're welcome. Oh, by the way.
The best way you can thank me.
Well, just, oh, by the way, do you know anybody that could benefit the same type of services that you just received?
Yeah, absolutely. Name, number, that's it. And you call them and you say, hey, by the way, hey, Joe, how you doing? I got your name and number from Marty. You know, he was just in the shop, da, da, da.
Maybe you got somebody. Did somebody come to mind? Yeah, great. I don't need their info right now, but when's the next time you're going to see them? Oh, we're going to have lunch next Tuesday. Great. So do you think that would be a great time? Can I follow up with you and see if that would be a great time for me to follow up with John? See if he would like to use the services? Of course, it takes a little bit more work, but then the next time when you're calling them on that Tuesday afternoon, hey, I don't suppose you had a chance to talk to John, did you? Well, actually, I did. We had lunch today. Wonderful. Absolutely.
But that's where the print materials could help you. And then you could pass him something and he could now pass it on to John.
And you're hoping that guy kept it in his car for 8 days.
It's a gamble in a sense, as much as running your ads online is. But the thing I think you need to realize though, well, not you, I know you know, but most detailers need to realize that the majority of this business and any business really is a numbers game, right? And so you have to be omnipresent. But the fact that there's not many people using print materials now in comparison to what they were 10 years ago, that's your opportunity, is the fact that you got to look at all the big organizations. They're all still advertising in print because print still works when it's done the right way. But that's where it can't be some just generic, hey, here's a list of the services that we do. There has to be some sort of value proposition there, an incentive and a call to action.
You mentioned a numbers game. Absolutely right. Like you literally, you play this scenario with every type of marketing material that you're going to ever design or put out. This is the same scenario that you should play, right? Absolutely right.
100%.
Just so that other people will know, given that you're print and you do stuff, you probably have a general idea that you tell people of what the ROI is going to be. You know, is that a 3% return on every 100 flyers, 3 people might, respond? Do you have that kind of generalized?
Yeah, sort of, yeah. And it would depend on what it's being used for. So let's say you're handing something out to strangers, for example. You could probably hope for an ROI of around 2 to 3%, and that would actually be really good. So similarly with online ads, running online ads, a lot of people think that, oh, I'm going to get, a 50% return, or, this and that. Like, it's just not going to happen. In online marketing, 2 to 5% is still the industry average of what you're going to convert. Now, it depends on your ads, and over time, you increase that percentage. But when you run a new campaign for the first time, unless you're a major brand taking out Super Bowl ads or something like that, your exposure is going to be very limited, and most times it's not going to be done well. So your conversion rate is going to be low. But over time, you improve that, so on and so forth. And it's the same thing with print. So going after complete strangers is always very difficult. That's why I always recommend to niche down, whether that's with print media or it's with online ads. So complete strangers, more difficult. Making print materials, let's say you go into the local barber shop near your shop, or maybe you're mobile, you go in, the guy, and you say, hey, listen, can I put some flyers in here, something like that. If you make a flyer specific for his clientele that mentions, like, clients of, Joe's barbershop or whatever, receive this and this and this, something like that, you're going to have a higher success rate. You'll have even higher success rate if you can couple that with some promotion with the barbershop and say, let's run this together, and we'll both be on this print stuff. I'll hand it out on my end, you hand it out on your end. So every time your percentage is going to go up, but on average, it would work 2 to 5% for complete strangers, and you're going to get around 15 to 20% if there's some sort of relationship that's developed there, where there's familiarity, where the customer is aware of at least part of who you are, whether it's through association with somebody, or they've seen your name other places or something like that. So that's where the numbers will jump up. But then there's other ways where we've had, like at our shop, we've had huge success. Those things where you pull the number off, like there's a little flyer on a cork board, you pull a number. So we put those all over the place. We put them at grocery stores, libraries. During COVID, it kind of sucked because we couldn't put them up anywhere because they basically blocked off all those things for, like, sanitary reasons. So that was more challenging for that campaign, but we found other ways to do it. And now that they're back open, we just plaster them all over again. But those things, I started off, I was going around and replacing them every 2 weeks. I ended up having to go around every 5 days and replacing them because all the numbers, there would be all but one pulled, which was kind of strange.
There's an asshole that's just going around.
Yeah. No, you would think so, but we used this thing called Ring Central. Basically, we had it where you could get different numbers, and we were testing it. But that does happen, though. That being said, that does happen because I've gone in before and I've seen some other, like, detailer when, like, put his business card over top of our thing. You know what I mean? And so I just went back and I just printed something twice as large and put it up. Take that. But yeah, so that does happen though, 100%. But yeah, those ones though, we had hugely high success rates with those. And then there's other things too though that we've had good successes with in terms of print stuff.
So your defense is overall people should still waste their money. I mean, spend their money on printed material, given that you're a print shop. I think is what you're
I think absolutely, but done in the right way. Kind of like
of course,
for example, yeah. For example, with your mugs, right? That's the kind of thing where you stay top of mind with somebody. So one thing I'm really into right now is magnets, because especially when people are spending a lot more time in their house, we don't do as much mobile service as we used to. We've moved a lot of things to the main shop, especially now that we have another bay opened up. But if I was doing strictly mobile, my goal would be to partner with anybody who can get inside of a house. Not like robbers. I mean, like HVAC guys, stuff like that. People that are going to be in a house, and I would do a collaborative print with them where we're printing a larger size magnet, but it's going to have key numbers for different people, like an electrician or this or that. And then that would be left behind with the homeowners or realtors and things like that. And that way you're likely going to be top of mind on someone's fridge or something like that. But that's where, once again, going for the wrong product, you're going to mess up your whole campaign. So they have fridge magnets that can hold up one piece of paper. The minute you put two pieces of paper, it falls down. That may not sound like a big deal, but we both have kids, right? Our kids, when they draw something or something like that, where do you want to put it on the fridge, right? That's what everyone does. Well, the minute you've got two pieces of paper there and it starts to fall, you eventually throw that magnet out. So they have thicker magnets, and that's what we usually recommend because it's slightly more, but you're going to get better results. So just talking to someone that knows their stuff, finding a printer that's not just in it for your money, but can actually make some recommendations. That's what I'd recommend. And Printing Shark would probably be a great place for that. So shameless plug, but so yeah, I definitely recommend print materials, but 100% done in the right way, because it does cost money to print. Absolutely. But it's cheap though, compared to what it used to be. It's a lot cheaper than it used to be, that's for sure.
So it looks like this guy wanted to just go. I mean, this looked like the atypical flyer that somebody's just they don't have anything to do and they're gonna go walk around and hand stuff out.
Yeah, I think so too.
They're just gonna walk around and go, hey, here's a detail flyer. Hey, here's a detail flyer. Or they're gonna go put it in people's cars, or they're gonna go stuff it. You know, this could also be that flyer that you see people that are in lawn care or pest control or any of those services that just walk around and put it on people's doors. Yeah. So let's go ahead and say, cool. Let's say he's going to get, I think 20% ROI on that is going to be a little high. I think
that would be steep.
I think 1.3 is going to be high. You know, probably an under 1% return ratio.
Yeah, I would say
time, energy, effort. But let's just say it's a great. So let's look at his flyer and let's talk through maybe some ways that it can be improved, so other people can look at it and they can maybe begin to build out some things that would be beneficial to them. So first off, you're right. You said that it was the colors, it was everything stood out, which was unique. It was unique that somebody 100%. Did have the color scheme done. I'm going to go ahead and say though, cool, you know, Freedom Mobile Detailing. I love the American spirit, but I need cars in there. I don't know. I need something that's going to, when I look at that, I've got seconds to decide if I'm going to look at it further. So something has to immediately keep my attention for a couple seconds, an American flag and more American flags, and an American flag again with a car. Looks old, I'm good, man. I need something a little bit more car-ish and not a cartoony little car that looks from like a 67. So I would think that would be one of the first things. What do you think that somebody could put on there that would grab the biggest thing the attention?
I love on flyers that grab my attention, and I'm going to use a flyer that I just got as an example. So it's that time of year here where, you know, leaves are falling and all that kind of stuff. So everyone's thinking about getting their gutters clean. A lot of flyers going out. And I always look at other flyers that come in, even if I have no intentions of using their services, just so I can assess what instantly captures my attention. And then I make notes of that for the future. So if you get here we have this thing called the Val Pack. So I take that, I open it up, I go through all the flyers and I assess, okay, this one grabbed my attention, this one didn't. I separate them like that. And then I look for common elements in the ones that did grab my attention. And the ones that grabbed my attention all had big images, very little text, big images. But the image that grabbed my attention the most was a gutter cleaning place. And what they did, they had a before and after. And before and afters show you what the customer has now and the result, but it shows them visually. You don't have to tell them. It didn't even have to say gutter cleaning. I saw a filthy gutter, and then I saw a clean gutter. And I just knew, I was like, oh, they clean gutters. That's what I can expect, is a clean gutter. So similarly, we're in that same position where if you're detailing cars on a daily basis, you just take one of the dirty ones, snap a picture. When you're done and you've transformed it, snap a picture. That now becomes the basis for your advertisement. And then I would base everything around that. Now, the big thing too is depending on, because this obviously has quite a bit of text on it. So that's a lot to take in as a customer. I'm a big fan of double-sided things, especially if it's going to be handed out some form or fashion. and it costs almost nothing to do double-sided versus single-sided. So I would recommend doing that and using side one, grab your attention with a nice image. If you can put someone on there smiling in some capacity, that always has a bigger impact. People like to see people, and especially when they're in a good mood, smiling psychologically, it draws us in. So if you can do something like that with a before and after picture, I think it would be, because even the photos that are here, I do see there's one of an interior, and then there's one, looks like he's polishing an RV.
Exactly. You don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is either.
He might be putting up a poster. I'm just saying, if I was a customer, I'd be like, what is he doing? You know, I wouldn't know. But because I know him, he's polishing an RV, I think. But in that instance, even showing the before and after would be more effective, I think, than just the action of doing it. Because they're not hiring you to do the process, they're hiring you for the end result. So showing that end result, I think, will have a bigger impact. But it is good that there are pictures. You know, I've seen ads where there's no pictures. But I think that expanding on that idea, like you said, Marty, with the two flags, maybe dropping one and making some space, move some text and make some space.
I think overall what you just said is the first thing that everybody should realize. The image should be the main thing.
Yeah.
It really is what will grab your attention. And then you should just have something very little with words. You really don't need a lot of words. What I enjoyed about his, you know, like I said, he's got the places he went. And then I started reading about, okay, here's what I do. Like, okay, I can logically look through this. Here's my name. Here's my area that I cover. Here's the services I offered. And, you know, here's a couple of pictures to show you about the work. Yeah, you can see the flow. And then you can go down the bottom, and then he's telling you about why you should shop with him and not other people. Okay, cool. I can see the flow.
Yeah.
But if I didn't want to see that flow, I wouldn't have lasted, right? I mean, I just would have.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's where for us, the advantage we had with looking at it was that we had the preamble and the post that was, hey, I made this ad, need some help, look it over. So that's where we looked and read the whole thing. But if I got it in my inbox, I might look at, well, not my inbox, but like my mailbox or something. I might look at it and be like, oh, okay. And so, because like for me, I look at it like my kids' homework. My kids bring me home some homework that they have to do with me. And they're like, hey, I have to do this with you. And then they show me it's this huge long I'm like, are you serious?
So here's I think you got 7, or you had basically said like, I think you can get some generalized ideas of going how to make this overall better. First of all, some type of image that stands out that grabs my attention. And then I've got to start, which it goes into any form of marketing, I've got to start talking to the people I want to talk to.
Yeah.
Because you start reading through, and I did at first. It's like, okay, cool. If I'm in one of these towns, I'm talking, right?
Yeah.
But maybe I don't list those towns, and I just talk to people that have minivans, or, you know, people that like golf, or people that like, you know, these other big items. I've got to find the person that I want to do business with, and then I got to talk to them. And when I talk to them, I don't need to tell them what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Right? Because then he starts listing, here's what I do.
Yeah.
Here's who I serve. Here's what I do. And here's why I'm better than all these other people that you might talk to. So let's say I get past there's no image, and I start reading through that. Like, you're telling me what you do. What's that have to do with me?
Yeah. Like, what's the benefit to you as a customer?
Yeah. What problem are you solving for me?
And that's where listing, like, it has to have the value add, right?
I mean, I don't know. That's why I thought it'd be cool. I know you've got some stuff that you were going to dig through, and I thought, you know, hey, so let's start there. Like, how do we begin to say something to people that we got to tell them what we do, and we got to somehow talk to these people? Like you mentioned, before and afters. What could, you know, is that paint? Is that carpet? And then do I have a woman on there? And we talk about, you know, their interior keeping clean. What do we do?
And that's where one thing I really like to do with things is not make them generic. The only time I go generic where I list like a bunch of stuff we do is if it's a pamphlet at our shop, someone's already there for one service and now they want to know what else we do. So that's where we can tell them, I do this, 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 this. But when it's going direct to a person, the goal is to tell them what you're going to do for them. And pizza ads, they're great for this, where they'll say, feeling hungry, we can satisfy those cravings. And then that's what they're doing for me, satisfying that craving, that kind of stuff. Very, very simple, lots of imagery. I always study pizza, beer, and car ads because those ones usually are pretty good. They have substantial marketing budgets and they hire people that are really good with the psychology of people. So looking at those kinds of ads, you'll see, like, you got to think new car launches and they put out a flyer or even the ads they put online. That car has probably 50,000 new features in it, but they'll highlight one feature and they'll go hard. And that ad is just about that. Could be
with a certain person in there, maybe even a certain skin tone, a certain sex, a certain age. They'll make
everything
different things to meet different.
Yep. Yes, exactly. And then they'll run multiple campaigns. So instead of printing 10,000 of one flyer, print 1,000 of 10 different flyers, right? So now you still have 10,000 flyers, but you've got different ones for different occasions, different demographics. Like in this, what I was reading here, the three main things that are highlighted, he's got the ceramic coating and protections, he's got paint correction, and then interior, exterior detailing. I would literally make that into 3 separate flyers if I could. And then
actually he's got 5 things listed.
There's which
is going to be part of mine. He's got so much, right?
That's true.
You're trying to talk to people with this, then you're talking to correction, then you're talking coding. Oh, I'm also talking to the RV people, and I'm also talking to hey, by the way, if you got a semi truck.
I just noticed, I saw the commercial in there too.
Come on, the guy that's over here looking that's looking for his car to get clean is not the same guy that's got a semi truck. You go, but you could be.
Could be. But the more could be's,
what's my ROI on? Could be. What's my ROI on? Could be. I don't know. My ROI could be is a lot worse than a wanted poster. I begin to say the people that I really want to talk to, and then I begin to lay out how I talk to them.
Yeah, because for me, I would make seeing the commercial on there. That to me is its own one that goes in. There must be an industrial area or something where he's going to run into more of those clients. And that's where I would go. And to be honest, the best place for that is find the nearest truck stop, gas station, diner, and so on and so forth that's nearby there. That's what I would do. And then that's
if you're there, you go, wheels look dim, or chrome's not polished, call up, you're going to talk to a truck driver much different than you're going to talk to the lady who's got 2 kids going to soccer practice.
Very true. Yeah, it's true. And that's where niching down is the number one thing to do. And then that's going to change the other elements like the before and after pictures and stuff like that. Because those elements should be in all of them, like the before and after pictures. Your phone number should be massive, very clearly legible. I do like the QR code with the book now.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, and that's really good. But then I would also at the same time list the website where to do it as well in case someone doesn't have a QR code.
I mean, at the very stop, right? freedommobiledetailing.com.
Okay,
and then he does, I think he lists the website 3 different places, and he does list the phone.
I've only seen it once. Oh, it's at the top part of the name as well.
Yep.
freedommobiledetailing.com. That's right.
Yep. And then it's down inside that big description, and then I believe it's
by
that QR code. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but me, I wouldn't have put it at the bottom here with the phone number. I would have put all of that together with the QR code saying, in one, I like to always put one contact section where it's got phone number, email, this and that, all that stuff, social handles, whatever. I like to put that all in one place, usually bottom right corner. That way someone boom, 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 scans my ad and then contact info in the bottom right corner. And then I do all my ads the same. I use that as a template. So yeah, I think the key points though would be niche down for sure, and make specific, because this isn't just applying to print ads as well. This is for even your online ads, everything. It should all start with who am I talking to and what's going to benefit them the most, and then center your ad around that. Find some imagery to support it.
But I'm sure he's run into the same thing that I ran into. You're spending time working on something and you go, okay, but I'm going to work on this. And I only got a little bit of time. She already mentioned it took him a long time or the more than they thought of. So
True, yeah.
gosh, I'm investing this amount of time. I got to make sure that it's going to hit as many people as I can. And that's that shotgun approach, right? If anybody's studying marketing, they talk about different ways that guns are shot and how it compares with the way people do marketing. And this is a shotgun approach to marketing. Shoot out a big, wide range, and you should hit a lot more people.
Yeah.
But what we all know about a shotgun shell, right? It's a lot of little tiny BBs. And if the shotgun's real close, it does the damage. But if you shoot a shotgun and you got people all over, then those little BBs don't reach people too great once it starts spreading out.
Absolutely. And that's where you'd be better off, even if you offer these other services, to pick one, maybe your most profitable or most easy to do, get in sniper mode, and then now that's what you do.
There you go. But he's looking at it and going, I'm investing this time. I got to make it as broad as possible. And I do get it, because I also fell into that temptation in the past before.
Yeah, because you want to maximize your marketing dollars, right? And you're like,
he's making it time. It's time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's spending his time. But if he'll do the template like you talked about, then he can just switch out a couple different photos, put in a couple different words, change it up, and then then the third, fourth, and fifth one that he does, it's a lot faster than the first and second one. So his time,
100%.
He can figure out his time and then have a bunch of different things that he can do with it.
True. And while he's got it out there generating leads, he'll get better at it too, because he'll know improvements, what worked. And the best way to do that is ask your customer. Well, we're looking at revamping our flyers. What was it about our flyer that captured your attention? They'll tell you. They will. And, I mean, unless they didn't come from the flyer, but if they did, then they will. But yeah, those are the things that we focus on as well. And we usually, like even our business cards, we do a lot of different services at our shop, and we just list specifically like a few of them on different cards. So like our window techs, they're going to have different business cards than I do, and vice versa, because I'm giving my card to different people for different reasons. So I go after more of the fleet accounts, things like that, dealerships, and my window tech guys, when they see someone that's got like a cracked windshield or, a busted, we saw one guy yesterday, actually, one of my guys, he stapled the business card to this guy's van. Now, hear me out. The guy was driving a van, but his back window was smashed. So he had put a piece of wood there and he drilled the wood. So my guy just took the business card, boom, right there on the piece of wood. And so I don't know what's happened of that. That was 2 days ago. So we'll see. But yeah, so it's one of those things where he does just windows. So we'll be able to fix that guy's window. It made sense. We went after that specific customer for that reason. If we put something on there that mentioned 15 different things, the guy probably look at it and be like, some asshole put this on my window. But in this case, we came direct with a solution. Boom. So it's niche down. Yeah, find your target audience, and print isn't as expensive as you're thinking when it comes time to do that kind of stuff. And so I think that you'll have much better results though in this niche down. And definitely, I'd say make certain things more prominent. Yeah, photos, phone number, call to action, and the benefit to the customer. That's the kind of focus that I would put.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's good. And then and eat picanha every day. That's the other way.
Eat picanha every day. All right, we dissected we got a tip. We're doing. You got a tip today? You putting the tip in?
I was dropping all kinds of tips today. So my tip, let's see. Jeez, there's been a few. Oh my. Well, you know what? I saw a post today, and I've seen it a few times. People circulate it around, and it says, "I left my 9-to-5 job to start my own business, and now I work 24/7." That's what the post said, right? Funny. I think that a lot of people enter business with that mentality, where okay, I left, I'm running my own business, and oh my God, I'm working all the time. I don't have any time for my family. And so they see that as a reason to not be in business. But I would argue that you haven't spent any time at all assessing what it means to be in business and what you want your business life to look like. You just kind of went in, started selling something, started providing a service and getting paid for it. And you're just kind of flying by the seat of your pants, which is fine. That's how most people start in business. But I would highly recommend that if you're one of those people that does feel overwhelmed, like you're working 24/7 now, and you left your 9-to-5 job and you feel like you're struggling and trying to keep your head above water because you have too much to do, take the weekend or at least a day, write down what you want your company to look like, what you want your business life to look like, and then try and find ways to make that happen by using services. Like maybe in this case, he spent way too much time on this. Excuse me, in the beginning of this, I did say that was a great thing. That's a positive because I do feel it is true. But maybe he should have hired someone on Fiverr instead, if he feels like that. In this case, I don't think he's running out of time. I think he's good. I think it just took him longer than he expected. But if you feel like I have to make these ads, Marty and Shawn were talking about it today, I got to make these ads and flyers, but I don't have any more time. I'm working 24/7. Well, then look for resources that are out there to speed you up, either YouTube videos and using Canva or certain softwares, or hire someone on Fiverr or 99 Designs, as Marty mentioned, different things. So find ways to get some of that time back, because the only way that you'll stop working 24/7 is if you scale with employees. And employees can either be direct employees or subcontractors, or they could just be independent contractors, one-offs like Fiverr. Those I'm just going to lump into the whole employee sphere right now, because you need to realize that you need help to run a business. You don't need help to be a detailer. You can be a detailer. If you want to be a business owner, you will need help to do things because you can't do it all well. That's my tip.
All right.
Ouch, ouch. So, how about yourself, Marty? We got a tip.
Well, I was curious if you or other people are going to go to Mobile Tech.
Oh, I am for sure. So, yeah, I'm sure others in the group as well, and I'll be posting about it too.
One of the topics I've been thought I do teach during the education day. I used to do, I think at one time I did 3 classes and it was 2, and I'm usually just do 1, but I haven't decided. I might do 2, but
okay.
One of the titles that I thought about, and one of the subjects that I thought about was teach people, how to learn to put out. It sound like a good tip too.
It is a good tip. You got to put out to get the tip, but
got to learn to put out.
Yeah, I like it.
The number one thing that I think people do, which I was proud of this, let's see, Alex Peters, I think was his name. Yeah, Alex Peters, is he put it out, but he put it out into a group so that he could get people's opinion. Okay, no problem. Great idea. But he at least put it out.
Yeah.
So he designed something and then he put it out. Once you put something out, which is the first step, because so many people never put something out because it isn't right. They're perfectionists, they're detailers, and we detail things to the utmost. So then when I go and I've got this OCD nature to me, when I go into my other stuff, it also has to be perfect before I put it out. I've got an image to uphold, got to be perfect. It's got to be perfect. Perfect is actually an excuse. And people should put out their work. You're an artist. You created something. You don't know its value until it actually gets put out. Many artists hide things and then they die, and later it becomes massively valuable. Why? They never put it out. You don't know what it's going to do unless you put it out.
It's true.
Now, the first part of what I said is you got to learn to put out. Got to put it out. And then when you put it out, you got to learn. We have a thing here inside the industry. We love to pay other people to teach us how to polish paint or wipe a product onto a card. Doesn't seem like that would be that difficult to do. Granted, there was a guy that we formerly have had discussions with that told people that even a 5-year-old could do what they do. So it doesn't seem too incredibly difficult to then learn how to wipe something on and then wipe it back off. The amount of time that people should be taking to learn what this guy just did, Alex, and learn to sit down and learn the skill set, the ability to figure out how to put things onto a canvas and add layers to it. And he's got graphics behind it and he's got images and he spent time. And Alex, you're applauded very heavily from another
100%.
content creator that you took the time to do it. The time, though, should now be spent too. Right? I got it. I put the time in, put something out, put it out. Then what? Here's the next dilemma that so many detailers run into. Yeah, dude, I made this. And for you, you will say, I made this printed material and put it out to 1,000 different cars. Or many of people will say, I made this image and I put it out on Instagram. I put it out on Facebook, put it out. And well, did you magically think that
what next?
So amazing at polishing and making things shiny that you somehow translates into knowing exactly how to do marketing? No. No, you got to learn to. So go back. You got to learn too. You got to put it out and then you got to learn too. What do you got to learn too? You got to learn two things. Because the dilemma is going to be you got to start learning all these other things. And, Shawn and I just did an amazing job dissecting it because that's easy for us to do. We've been doing it for so long and we could probably go on for 2 more hours, but that's not very beneficial. We would just be dissecting something. So learn 2 fucking things and put it the back out. And then learn 2 more things and put out. Learn 2 and put out.
Absolutely. A/B testing.
I mean, there's no reason to stop. No reason to go backwards. There's no reason to waste your time. And there's no reason to ever think that you could magically create something that will drum up millions of dollars of business. And this is something internally that we've been working with content creators as we've pushed out further into a broaden our scope of community and broaden our scope of content creation, because since we became in 16, 17 and began to develop this online thing, I've done almost, I would say 90% of it all myself.
Wow.
There's no way you could do that if you ever stopped. There's no way you could do it if you ever kept thinking it was going to be perfect.
And you're not always going to do it right. Exactly.
Yeah, you got to put it out and then you got to learn 2 things and you got to put it back out. And some of the things you got to learn is specifically I've been talking about with the content creators is you got to learn what sells.
Yeah.
This guy did a great job. He cleaned the car and this is what makes it so difficult. And everybody goes, this is really where the rubber meets the road. And you go, yes. And this is what makes it difficult. The game is hard to play. And if you achieve to this level, you've done really great. Good job. You clean cars and you learn how to make material and you learn how to market. But the end game, the overall way that you get a fucking nugget is you actually learn how to make somebody buy something off of the content or the paper or whatever it is that you're designing, how you can actually get somebody not at a 1%, 2%, 3%, but actually get somebody massive amount of people to start buying things.
100%.
That is the whole nother part of the game that we can make things shiny. Whew, how difficult it is to actually then start
Convert
getting
those leads.
To convert what you put out.
Yeah.
And there you should and ride the rub. And then there's going to be people who go, I don't know if I can do that. Absolutely. So learn 2 things and put out.
Yeah. 100%.
How will you learn? It's 2022. When did I start?
Yeah.
2016. That's 6 years ago. 6 years it takes. And we're not amazing. I got
No.
so much to learn, right? Like
I've been doing marketing since 2005, and
yeah,
it's
you could
always
compare.
evolving.
Yeah, you can compare my stuff to other people, and you go, "These people are far superior," and I go, "Fuck yeah, they are." Absolutely. Like I got a lot to learn. So
Absolutely.
I learned too, and I put it back out.
Put it back out. Yeah.
We've been trying to now figure out. I've got 2010 and 11. I built a small YouTube channel, grew it up, sold it, never got back into it. Realized, God damn it, I got to start another YouTube channel.
Gotta get back into YouTube.
Right? Like, so now what I'm trying to do is figure out how I can build and do a YouTube style content, but not spend all my time just building for YouTube. And then how can I also use those onto other platforms and other things that I can. The only way you can do that is you learn a couple things, you put it back out, and you begin to build this. We all like cars. What's an engine? What does it run off of? Systems, a piston that goes up and down and it always gets a little bit and it goes and goes and goes. Take two, learn two, put it out, learn two, put it out, learn two, put it out, and develop a system where every day, every couple days, you're putting out, you're learning and you're putting out, you're learning and you're putting out, and eventually you can start to make some sales. Do I make more sales now off of stuff that I put out than I did a year ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago? Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The only way is because you learn to and then you put it out. Learn to and put it out.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's where flyers like this, for example, like even the flyers I make now, sometimes they're a big hit, other times huge miss. But I study why it was a miss, try and figure it out, dissect it, and then we put it back out, try it again. And sometimes it's just an absolute flop. Other times we can figure out, oh, if I tweak this like this or that like that, then it'll work, and then it just takes off. And that's true for everything. Like even OrbisX, when I launched it, I didn't wait till I had all the pieces in there. I launched it when it was like 40% of where I wanted it to be. And then I've just been building pieces onto it because I didn't need perfection in the beginning. I just had to start getting the word out, listen to, feedback from people and stuff and improve it. And that's how it got to where it is today. But it took that constant refinement, putting it out, getting back feedback, putting it back out again. And that's the same thing. That's solid people. I like that. You gotta teach people to put out.
You gotta learn to put out, man. Listen, that's a tip. And there's your tip of the day. Learn to put out.
That's a tip. My daughter's never listening to the show, but no, that's awesome. Yeah, good tip. Absolutely. And Alex, man, you did a fantastic job on the flyer.
Far superior than I ever put out back when I was younger. Like,
oh,
no
yeah,
way.
Man. I know. I'm gonna try and dig up some of my first flyer. I'm sure I have them on a backup drive. Yeah. Holy fuck.
Mine was that digital guy, and it was that one that ran around. It probably became later turned into like a I don't know, some digital copy, but it was that real digital car with that dude with just a bucket, or it was just a car and a bucket.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's all we had. We just had like these
yeah. Oh yeah, man.
It was digital. It wasn't. It was, when I say digital is the wrong word. Extremely digitized, where it's like it's almost, there's no graphics to it. Where it's just
yeah.
It's just like really vague blocks that look like,
yeah. Like the pixels are all
pixels. That's the word.
It's
very pixelated. Yeah.
But that's the thing. You work with what you got and you improve it and you keep going. And as your knowledge and tools and resources improve, then so do your ads. And yeah, some of mine in the beginning were terrible. And then ads I didn't think would do well, and I didn't have a lot of time, and I threw them together quickly, did extremely well. And one of our best performing ones, a before and after picture of salt stained mats. And we would put it out every year around whenever, salt on the roads and stuff, winter time, or, just after winter. And all it had was a before showing salt stained mats, after clean mats. And it just said, "We fix dirty." That's it. Phone number, not even a website link, nothing. Put that out there. We got so many phone calls. It was ridiculous. And I was like, fuck, this took me 30 seconds. I was feeling bad for myself because an ad that I spent about 3 days on refining and this and that, and we got maybe a 1% conversion rate. The other one, we got high 50s. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I felt like I wasted 3 days, but I didn't. It was just, we refined that other ad and it's doing fine now. We still use it today, but it's amazing. You don't know unless you just put shit out there. So Yeah.
But you got to learn. You can't just keep putting shit out.
Yeah.
You got to learn.
Yeah. You got to learn from it. Yeah. If you
learn.
just keep putting stuff out
Yep.
aimlessly, yeah, that's going to be a problem. So,
Yep.
yeah, it's like picking up a chick, you know, you throw out some pickup lines. It's not working. Find out why it's working. Why did I get champagne thrown in my face? You know, and then you learn from it, and then you get less champagne in your face. All right, good stuff. Thanks, Marty. I appreciate you. Once again, Alex, great job on the flyer. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week, next Tuesday. Awesome.
Next week.
All right. Sounds good.
See you, Shawn.
Thanks, Marty. See you.